The Vatican Archives, what secrets are hidden from the world? The grand doors of the Vatican Library creaked open, revealing a labyrinth of corridors lined with shelves that seemed to stretch into eternity. Thomas Blake adjusted his tie, his breath catching in his throat as he took in the overwhelming sight of history, mystery, and forbidden knowledge. He had waited years for this moment, an invitation to the Archivum Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum, the Vatican's fabled secret archives. Guided by Father Matteo, a stoic priest with a knowing gaze, Thomas could feel the weight of the Church's guarded history pressing down on him. Only a select few scholars ever received access, and even then, they were restricted to specific documents. But Thomas wasn't here for routine research. He was here to uncover a secret that had haunted historians for centuries. "I'll leave you to your work," Father Matteo said, his voice echoing softly in the vast chamber. "You have 2 hours. Do not wander beyond the approved sections." Thomas nodded, feigning obedience. As soon as the priest's footsteps faded, he set to work. The map that shouldn't exist. Thomas had come across a clue hidden within an obscure 15th century manuscript, an encrypted reference to a map detailing an unknown location in the New World, long before Columbus's voyage. If the map truly existed, it could rewrite history. He scanned the shelves, searching for the section labeled Cartography Secreti. After several tense minutes, he found it. His fingers trembled as he pulled out a leather-bound volume with faded Latin inscriptions. Flipping through the brittle pages, he found sketches of coastlines and cryptic notes in the margins. And then, there it was, a map marked with symbols that didn't match any known geography. "Incredible," Thomas whispered, tracing his fingers over the lines. The map was labeled Terra Incognita Sacra, the sacred unknown land. But before he could examine it further, a soft sound startled him. He turned sharply, heart pounding, but saw nothing. Was someone watching him? A forbidden document. Determined to continue, Thomas slid the map into his satchel and moved deeper into the archives. He knew he was breaking the rules, but something about the map convinced him it was worth the risk. His next destination was a restricted section where rumors claimed sensitive documents were kept, letters from popes, royal decrees, and ancient prophecies. The air grew colder as he approached a dimly lit corner of the library. There, he found a locked cabinet with the insignia of Pope Urban VIII. It was an odd choice for a storage space, given that most materials from that era were accessible. But this cabinet felt different, as though it had been deliberately hidden. Thomas glanced over his shoulder, ensuring he was alone, before retrieving a lockpicking tool from his pocket. With practiced precision, he heard the satisfying click of the mechanism releasing. Inside was a single document, yellowed with age and sealed with red wax. He carefully broke the seal, and unrolled the parchment. The script was delicate, almost hesitant, as though its writer feared the words they were committing to paper. "In nomine veritatis divini, I record this not for the present age, but for those who seek wisdom in the shadows of history. There exists a relic, buried beneath the foundation of St. Peter's Basilica, that bears the mark of the Nazarene and holds the key to divine revelation." Thomas's breath hitched. A relic hidden beneath the Vatican itself. Could this be the legendary artifact whispered about in theological circles, the Seal of Solomon, or perhaps an early Christian artifact that predated the Church's official canon? He stuffed the document into his satchel, but before he could retreat, the flickering light of a lantern appeared at the end of the corridor. "The Chase, who's there?" a voice called out, sharp and authoritative. Thomas's pulse raced as he ducked behind a shelf, clutching his satchel tightly. The footsteps grew louder, each step reverberating like a drumbeat. He knew he couldn't outrun them within the maze of shelves, but he remembered passing a side exit earlier. With one swift motion, he darted toward the exit, keeping low to avoid detection. The sound of pursuit echoed behind him, but adrenaline pushed him forward. He burst through the side door and into a narrow corridor leading to a courtyard bathed in moonlight. As he crossed the cobblestone path, he heard distant shouting. Guards had been alerted. A secret smuggled out Thomas slipped into a side street beyond the Vatican walls, blending into the crowd of tourists and clergy that populated the night. Only when he was several blocks away did he allow himself to breathe. He found a bench beneath a street lamp and opened his satchel. The map and the document lay before him, their implications swirling in his mind. If the map was real, it could prove that explorers had reached the New World long before Columbus. And if the relic mentioned in the letter existed, it could redefine the Church's understanding of its origins. But revealing these secrets would be dangerous. The Vatican had spent centuries guarding its archives for a reason. Thomas knew that by taking the documents, he had crossed a line, and that others wouldn't let him do so without consequences. For now, he had to disappear. He folded the map and the letter carefully, hiding them beneath his jacket. His next step would be contacting trusted historians who could help him decipher the map without drawing attention. As he walked into the night, the weight of history pressed against him, and he couldn't help but wonder how many more secrets lay hidden within the Vatican's vaults, waiting for someone brave, or foolish, enough to uncover them. One thing was certain, his journey was just beginning.